enemy because it's a Western, so we'll just bring this guy in and he doesn't like him for no reason. And then, so it's a bit of a weird one. I think that he's very good, though, in that kind of role. It's just a bit of a sort of like strange setup for it. And why, why?
I mean, bear in mind that this I don't want to do too many spoilers.
No.
Just in case anybody hasn't seen it, or anybody who hasn't seen it for a while. But this film could have done with a bit of backstory to it.
It could have done, yeah. And
number one, Alfred Molina's Angel is trying to stop Brett from getting to the poker game.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, I'm not a massive poker player, but it does all depend on the cards. It's not like he's guaranteed to win.
Yeah, again...
But he does seem quite lucky. I will say that.
Yeah, and he's obviously a very good poker player,
gunslinger
and all
escaper of rattlesnakes.
Yes.
Sorry.
But yes, I guess he's a lucky guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
But it is a bit like, well, why did they not want him to play?
Yeah, and why didn't they just shoot him?
Yeah.
Because it's the Wild West. People get shot every day.
Exactly. So I think if you
we've just ruined this film, really, haven't we?
I just talked myself out of liking this film. Oh, God damn it. No. It's not supposed to be a serious Western. There are obvious serious Westerns.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That, exist. But this is very much a comedy first, I think. And on the surface, this... While I was watching it, I wasn't thinking, hang on a minute. But though, why didn't they just do this? And why is he doing that? I wasn't thinking that.
Good, okay.
But now that I'm talking about it, obviously, I'm overanalyzing it, and I think it's like, you know what? It's not that kind of film. You don't need to kind of question everything.
No. Maybe we are being quite unfair then.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think this is a really fun romp?
I do. I really enjoyed it. I thought that, it's got... And this is the kind of thing that you have to remember, and I think I'm going to step on one of your facts here.
Don't you bloody dare.
But it's important.
Don't you dare.
I need your permission.
Okay, go on then.
So you have the moment where the bank gets robbed.
Right.
Whilst Maverick is in there.
Yeah.
And the bank robber is who?
Who is it?
It's Danny Glover.
It is Danny Glover.
And there
Riggs and Murtaugh reunited once again.
In the past.
Yeah.
And there is a very obvious joke about that fact.
Yeah, there's it's not even a nod. It's a head convulsion.
Yeah, it's a full 360 degree turn of the head.
Yeah, it's Linda Blair in the Western.
Yeah. So Maverick pulls down the mask on the bank robber, and they look at each other and shake their head, and look at each other again and shake their head.
Yeah.
And then, as the bank robber is escaping, he's getting up on his horse and he says, "I'm getting too old for this shit."
Yeah.
So it's a very, very obvious self-aware reference. And
yes.
It's like, look at who it is.
Yeah, they even have the music playing over the background as well.
So, that kind of gives you the idea of how seriously you should take this film.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
It's meant to be good fun. And also it's, full of cameos from various people, which Matt will talk about later on.
Step all over everything. Bloody hell, give it all away.
So it is obviously just made for enjoyment. It's not made for being analysed. It's made to... Because, Westerns are fun and can be fun.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, this is definitely made for people who like Lethal Weapon films.
Exactly.
Which I do.
Yes.
I like all of them.
Yes.
So, let's quickly discuss Jodie Foster.
Okay.
Because I don't think she gets as much praise as she should.
No.
She won an Oscar. I think she just won the one Oscar.
Yeah.
For Silence of the Lambs. But she's done quite a few, great films. I mean... One of her first was Taxi Driver. Mm-hmm. She was in the original Freaky Friday, which is great, by the way. She was in Spike Lee's Inside Man, which is a great, intelligent action film, I guess. She was brilliant in The Accused and Panic Room. But I just don't think that she's done loads that I don't know, what am I trying to say?
So this is just kind of a very interesting role to see her in.
Yes, thank you. This is just not the sort of role that she didn't really do comedies. Granted, she started off as a Disney kid, doing like Freaky Friday and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, she doesn't really do comedies.
But she's very good in this.
She is bloody funny in this.
You know, she's just does the character really well. Her timing is really great. You know, her... you know, she kind of makes fun of herself well in this, because the character, you know, she's a thief. Anne, is it?
Annabelle.
Annabelle, yeah. You know, she kind of tries to portray herself as a sophisticated lady.
A lady of the South, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, there's one point where she sort of is pulling her poker chips towards her and she falls off her chair, and you know, so she's not quite pulling it off, and she, you know, she does that kind of physical comedy very well. This
is a very physical comedy film.
It is, yeah.
It's very little things. For instance, again with Annabelle Bransford, I think her name is.
Yeah.
Just after her and Maverick have slept together, just for the final game, the Zane Cooper,
yes,
James Garner,
yeah,
I can't remember his name, turns around and says, you're practically glowing, and she turns around to look at him just over her shoulder, and then just walks into a door.
Yeah.
You know, there's just little comedic timing,
there are
genius moments.
You have to kind of keep your eyes open, because there are lots of little things like that. There's you know,
the thumb on the door.
The thumb on the door, yeah. Maverick shuts the door on his own thumb.
Yeah.
There's also a moment where Annabelle has spat into Maverick's hand, which I won't go into explaining why, but he then sort of wipes it on her shirt, and then in the next kind of frame where you see Zane Cooper puts his hand on her shoulder and then sort of, you know, looks at his hand like, you know, it's wet. So there's just kind of really nice little subtle continuations of jokes like that as well.
I mean, it's not as funny as Blazing Saddles, but for the 90s, it was quite fun.
Yes.
I think that's just our takeaway from this. It's a bit of fun.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good kind of, you know, Sunday afternoon film for sure, or just something, you know, if you've had a bit of a rubbish day and you want something to switch your brain off to, but that isn't, you know, kind of like too full on action. It's gentle enough.
This is the Fast and Furious of Westerns.
I would say it's gentler than that.
Yes, it is much more gentler than that. Hardcore Fast and Furious, you know.
Yeah.
No, that's not the case. I think this film is very well cast.
Yes.
I think everybody in it and more, which I'll talk about a little bit later on in my facts.
In your facts.
One you've just stomped all over.
Well,
son of a... you know, you've got James Garner as... I can't remember his name.
Cooper.
Thank you, Zane Cooper. You got James Coburn as the Commodore Duval. You've got a lot of people who are in other westerns and come from that sort of background in cinema and TV. And I just think it's a fine film.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one thing we haven't mentioned is that this is based on a TV series.
It is, and it was very successful as well. A lot of differences.
Well, I'm, you know, completely not familiar with the TV series of Maverick, but...
No, I'm not really either. I don't think it was really shown over here in the UK. No. I don't think so.
But, you know, maybe that's what we're kind of taking for granted, in that, you know, saying that, oh, there should be more backstory for certain things. You know, maybe that's just because, obviously, not being familiar with the TV series, maybe there's even, you know, kind of a few... nods to that, you know, have completely gone over my head as well. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. It would be interesting to view it knowing the TV series, but at the same time, I am not going to bother watching Maverick, the TV series.
No. Let's just recommend this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I don't want to begin slagging it off or anything like that.
No. I mean, I definitely...
Not going to spoil the ending either.
No. There's a great ending, which I didn't...
You didn't see?
I didn't see it coming. I was very pleasantly surprised by the ending, and, you know, if you haven't seen it before, then I hope that you are too. Because I was like, Ah.
Yeah. Pulled your rug under your carpet type thing.
Yes, something like that. I think that was a malapropism. I don't think that's the saying. Pulled the rug from under my feet.
Sure.
Yeah, no, it was it was very satisfying, and I enjoyed it. I would watch it again as well.
Really, that's good.
Yeah, I definitely would. It was really, really lovely. I really enjoyed seeing Jodie Foster in a different role.
Yes.
In particular, I thought she was, really charming in this.
Well, I think you really liked Jodie Foster, and I really liked James Garner.
Yeah.
So.
They're good. They're really good. So definitely recommend.
Now, I'm going to say we're going to change this up a little bit because I don't have a favourite line.
No, but I do.
Go on then, you say your favourite line.
Have you got a favourite scene?
I have got a favourite scene.
Do you want me to do the favourite line first, though?
Yeah, get that out of the way. Go on.
So this is in
I
the
won't
scene...
interrupt you whilst you're doing it.
Okay, thank you. So this is...
Because you can do a really good job at this.
I'm going to box your ears, young man.
Okay.
This is in the scene...
I mean, I didn't want to offend you or anything.
Oh my God. This is in the scene where they are ambushing the pretend Native Americans.
Oh yeah, I remember that scene. That was quite a scene, and they said that thing in that scene. I remember that scene. Yeah.
Do you wanna be quiet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fingers on lips.
Yeah.
Go
on, carry on.
So Maverick is claiming that they're surrounded, and this is what he says. He's describing the people who he has with him.
I like how you clear your throat. That already tells me this is going to be quite long, isn't it?
It is long.
Right, everyone settle down.
Settle in, children. So he says, after you is ugly Annie Bransford. When she was born, she came out backwards and no one noticed. Hell, when she was little, her parents had to tie a pork chop around her neck so the dog would play with her. When she's making love, she has to pretend she's someone else. And that's it.
Yeah, that's quite funny.
Yes. And I think, I did find it really hard to find a favourite line in this. Because although there is good dialogue, there aren't, really that many kind of one-liners that are easy to kind of pick out and choose as a favourite line. So
in fact, my favourite line is actually more down to delivery, actually. And I didn't want to say this because it's the bit where Maverick is hanging over the cliff.
Uh-huh.
And he just goes, help.
Yes.
Just really quietly, just like, help.
Yes. Well, he's just said that he didn't want any help.
Yeah.
And then he slips.
Yeah. Help, please. It's like, why don't you grab my hand? No, you grab my hand.
Yeah.
I thought that was quite funny.
So you did have a favourite line.
I kind of did, I guess.
What is your favourite scene?
I found this one a little bit difficult because I think the whole bank robbing scene is fun with Riggs and Murta rejoined. That's quite fun. I like a lot of the steamboat segment, shall we say, which is like a good 40 minutes long.
Yeah.
But it's quite fun.
Yeah.
But I think, it is probably the Lethal Weapon bit.
Okay.
I'm shallow like that.
Yeah, but it's a good scene and it's very funny.
It is fun.
And it's set up nicely because Maverick pretends to rob the bank, because it's his mate, and then the clerk comes in and...
bank robbery!
Like, no. Oh, real bank robbery.
Yeah, it's quite fun.
My favourite scene is one of the most action-packed scenes.
Ooh.
And it is when they're on the stagecoach.
Okay.
And discover that the driver is dead.
You're only happy when someone's dead, aren't you?
No, but I thought it was good, and it's a very kind of clumsy. He doesn't do it very well. Maverick doesn't. He's very reluctant, as any sane person would be, to climb out of a speeding stagecoach to try and stop 6 horses from, propelling them off a cliff. But I just thought it was good fun, and there's lots of funny dialogue in that as well. There's
little funny bits. I mean, that whole segment only lasts for about like 7 or 8 minutes at the most, but there's a lot going on.
But that is really good, and it's almost got a sort of Buster Keaton-esque physical comedy going on whilst he's trying to rescue them, but doing it with very little finesse.
Yes.
Well, that's my favourite scene.
let's move on to some facts.